Alright, by popular demand, they want me to describe my filament dryer box. So, without further ado, I have my thermostat gauge, which controls my heater inside the box. Separate from that is a 12 volt that controls the fan on the heater. Don't mind my son's little doodles here. He decided to help me with the box. So we'll go ahead and shut this off. This tells you the current temperature or that it's trying to heat, and I'll show you where that's routed and how I did it all. The 12 volt fan is running because that's ran off of a separate power supply here, 12 volt. Whereas the heater that I ordered runs on 110. So go ahead and open up this, and yeah, they're printing. Okay, so popular disclaimer to this whole thing, as most good videos do, I'm not an electrician. If you decide to wire up your own box, that's on you. I suggest you hire or at least consult an electrician before wiring up your own box. Without further ado, here we go. So I keep my PLA down below. Anything that's PLA down below. This will hold 8 spools depending on the width of your spool up top, and down below 16 in total. My plan is to port them all through the back, leave them down below, and then spool them up into my bevel here. This one, yeah, it's my chunksy, so we'll go ahead and do it spool by spool on that one, but that's my plan. Ports are on the way, or at least couplings. So, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for the box. Key to these boxes, line them. Yes, use liner. It will hold in heat better. It will reduce your humidity over time, especially. Trust me, I know I fought it in the beginning. I thought, oh, well, I had some air leaks, whatever. No, thermal was my problem. So, went ahead and took care of that, and this is my results. No issues with my filament sub lining the box. So we're going to go ahead and pull these out of the way. This is 3/4 inch PVC tubing. You can get this at your local hardware store. $2-3 for, I don't know, 16 feet, 18 feet. Very cheap. These hangers are just closet door hangers. I use the open end, so I bought 4 of them. They come with a closed end on one end. You can buy 2 and just kind of like set in one side and drop in. But I'm lazy, so select these so I can open up evenly-ish. And get down to the guts. Here's the guts. Okay, so we have our heater and our fan. Our fan is 12 volt. Our heater is 120 or 110, depending on how you look at it. And it's wired up the box. This quarter here and out. This is a temperature probe on my external monitor. I have not wired it through the box yet, and it just sits. Where is it? There. Okay. So I wired in my heater to my thermostat out there, here, which is off. Okay. And I wired in my 12 volt fan out the box, out the back, and to the 12 volt converter that I showed you earlier. I added the shuttle plate. The shuttle plate helps in 2 ways. One, it doesn't burn through the bottom of my box. It doesn't try and burn up the liner. 2, it creates even flow from the bottom of my box. These lower filaments, yes, they may seem like they are the hottest, but actually the ones that are sitting above the element are actually very, very warm. In here I also have Desiccant. This Desiccant I will link in the description. It is not your standard silica like you would see down there. It is actually different. It's an off biochemical of like salt-ish kind of desiccant. It's a wet desiccant. It turns to a gel in the end. Hence why you need this enclosure. It will turn to jelly in the end. It's not reusable. I actually order it in these little packets here. Actually, this will tell you what it is. This is double pack dry Z air, Don't think it actually tells me what type of chemical it is. Calcium chloride. Okay, that's what it is. Calcium chloride. So this is the type of desiccant that I use. Very, very dry desiccant. And that's it. Get yourself a tight sealable container. This seal has a foam seal on the top. And I think this container cost me about $14 for the container. The liner I already had. These are about $1 something each. So about 4 of those, call it $5. The steel I already had, or aluminum plating I already had. Call it $1 at your local scrap. The heater here, it was $15-ish. Again, links in the description. I'll throw it in there. And then this, the desiccant I bought at Home Depot. No, Diamond. I bought that at Diamond. But you can buy this stuff, this liner, Home Depot, Diamond, hardware store. This I bought at Fred Meyer. It's a tote. These little thermostats, which I tried to use, didn't fucking work. Won't even link those because they're crap, at least for me. Got a bad batch. And the 3/4 inch PVC, any hardware store will have that. So check your local hardware store for pricing. My thermistor that I have down here. This one here has been a reliable little guy. It's called the Accurate. I think I broke it actually. I left it outside for a couple of days in the direct sun, and now it just, I don't know. The temperature seems to work, but just I don't know if the humidity works anymore because I left it outside in direct sun. But I know it's very dry in here because I have taken my exotic filaments that I have here that I keep at the highest point, and I fed them through my printer, and they don't pop, they don't secrete, they don't, they print fine, print really well. And just to kind of give you, I have some PC polycarbonate, some TPU, I use this one quite a bit, some PETG filament, and here on the end I think it's Poly Plus, yeah, Polylite ABS. So it keeps them very, very dry. You can tell because you can kind of like scrape them, give you a nice light sheen. So they are very shiny, very dry filament. So that is my dry box. That I think in total it cost me $80 to build this, and from the market standard that I looked at, it cost me $80 for a dual filament dryer. Oh, this is heavy. So for, oh, I got caught. So for one that dry 2, and I can dry roughly 18. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'd rather dry 18 filaments all at once and then pour them out the back and be able to eventually feed them to my printer than to be able to only dry 2 and try 2 at a time. And I'm new to this, and I already have 2 printers, so to be able to only use 2 filaments at a time for $80 doesn't really seem practical when you can build your own dry box and store 18 or 16 filaments, or more, depending on the width of your filament. Like this is 2 kilograms and this is 2 kilograms, but they are much different in the width. So you can store your different flavors depending on your width. You probably even lay some down the bottom or up top of each roll if you just want to set them in there and not run them out the back. But my whole design in this is that they don't touch each other. That's my design. So this one can free spool, this one can free spool. You can adjust this as modified or as needed depending on the enclosure that you buy. If you buy a larger enclosure, probably one that's yay taller, you can put a whole nother stack above it, increasing about 8 or more rolls on the end of this. So that's up to you guys. Any questions on how I made this, what I used, if it's unclear, go ahead and hit me up. I'm more than welcome to answer questions. I don't get to YouTube too often, so I am M. Rawson on Facebook, or if you hit me up on the 3D Noobs page on Facebook, I am much more readily available on there, as I don't respond to Facebook too much. And this little catcher unspooled. But yeah, that's it. This is my external little deal, which should be ran internal for my little meter here. Any questions? Hit me up. I don't know what else to say about it. It works well. It keeps my filaments super dry at temp until I run them. Again, I want to pour them out the back. See a lot of guys pour them out the top. So if I put on the top, see a lot of people pour them out the top, but for my bench, I think I'm going to, because it sits close to the drawer, sits down there generally. So I would have poured it out the back and run them into my individual printers here. Rate my setup. Let me know how I did. Peace out.